I'm in a Dire Straits Mark Knopfler mode, okay? I'm playing my Daphne Strat here, and I'm on second position, coming off the neck here. Here's your neck position. And then you come down one, it's a little more bright. I've got it set up for kind of more that Mark Knopfler. You'll also notice I'm using my thumb and mostly my middle finger. And the reason for that is because I'm more comfortable with my middle finger because I've played with a pick and a hybrid style for so long. So if I have a last minute thought, that's going to come out of that middle finger more so than it will the index finger, because I didn't start off as a thumb picker using that index finger. For all you thumb pickers that are laughing at this very moment. But that's what happens when you're a kid and somebody says, well, you need to pick one way or the other. It needs to be the flat pick or the thumb pick, okay? So I chose the flat pick, and now here I'm, 40 years into my guitar playing, and I'm trying to use more thumb to get that great Mark Knopfler type of sound. So anyway, I'm in D minor. I got a little overdrive in there. Brighter sound because I'm using my thumb and my fingers versus using a pick. So a lot of D minor work, D minor pentatonic coming off of the C major scale, so you could say it's Dorian, okay? Let's break open into this progression that I'm working over. Okay, so in this progression we are going from D minor to A minor, to a C chord, to a G chord. I will put this in this segment, maybe a link to this particular backing track. And if you don't want to play over this, you could always record yourself maybe playing over those three chords. Those four chords, and it's a lot of fun. But again, when you hear that, a lot of people are like, well, okay, well, what key do I play in? What things should I use? You're going to use D minor, okay? Okay, which is coming off the C major scale, all right? If I play nothing but C major notes, but end on D notes, that's going to help me. All of that I just did was me thinking the key of C and playing C major, but then pulling it back into a D or D minor, okay? So that's very important in playing through the changes on this. Then all of a sudden it goes to A minor. Well, that A minor is also going to call for those C major notes. Okay, but it's where you start, where you end, and the arpeggiations and the notes you choose in between. That's me playing an A minor chord off the second position. Okay, but I'm just playing as the single notes. And then just add a little something guitar flavor to that. Okay, of that, and that will give you a phrase to play over A minor, okay? So you're going D minor to A minor, and then you'll go to C. Well, that's the key we're in, so that should be easy. And you ought to be able to play the notes of a C scale all the way up one string, like this. All the way, and just keep going on one string. Do the same thing on the second string. Do that on the third string, okay? So that you could run a string if need be and know where your major notes are for that particular key that you're working on, okay? Now, we'll get into some of the Mark Knopfler specifics and techniques in just a second, okay? And then the last one, of course, is the G chord. So I'm using G and G arpeggiations, but I'm going to use the key of C, which probably means I'm going to throw a C note in there. I might play... G, B, D, and then a push to a C from a B, back down, and then back into my D minor, all right? So these are the kind of things that you want to be thinking about when you're playing over this kind of progression, all right? So kind of back to the Mark Knopfler thing, let's talk about that just a little bit. So many of you know about Sultans of Swing. All that stuff, okay? Using the thumb. Mark Knopfler had a big old callus on the edge of his thumb, and this is very important, okay? I'm actually going to move in a little closer to the camera because I want you to make sure that you see this, okay? I'm going to hold the guitar up here. Look at the positioning of my hand. This is probably the most important thing in this entire video. You want that sound, you want to sound like Mark Knopfler and people that play like that, Lindsey Buckingham, all those kinds of guys, you've got to get your thumb further out in front. I see people trying to play like this. So, you can barely see my thumb and I'm trying to work and do that, okay? That's not going to work because you're going to run your fingers right into your thumb. But if you turn your wrist this way, okay? Here's me giving the thumbs up and then boom, me pushing that thumb this way. When you turn this way, and I don't mean so much that it's uncomfortable, but when you turn that, two things happen. One, you get that thumb planed out where you can get where those strings are needing to be plucked, okay? And I'd be back here. I'm just trying to hold my guitar up so you can see it with the camera. But, you know, I'm going to turn my hand so that I can play. The other thing is I'm going to rest back here towards this bridge plate, or excuse me, the bridge position here, so that I can have a tighter response off my string. So that's another big piece of it. And the last thing is this. When you get your thumb turned outside the right way, the index, middle, and third finger and the nails that you have on those are more accessible and brighter in sounding. Okay? If I've got them turned like this with my thumb back, that's not going to, first I don't have much control over that. But when I pull it this way, it is me doing a trigger style. Look how fast you can move. Look how fast you can move your fingers when you pulling them in like this versus trying to do that. That's like your wrist trying to do the work, and that's never going to work. You need fast fingers. You want to see that again? Fast fingers. So check it out. The angle at the wrist. And, you know, Hendrix knew this stuff. John Mayer knows this stuff. You insert the name of a virtuoso player, and they know about this type of thing and what the wrist must do to get this down correct. All right, so let's talk a little bit more. Obviously, the right hand is such a big part of this. So now you have got to have a fight over some of the strings between your thumb and your first finger and your middle finger, okay? So notes that that's the D, we're in D, and I'm on the third string. That's little things that you need to do as an exercise to make yourself better. Is have a fight over one string with your thumb and your index finger. With my thumb and index finger, so I'm trying really, really hard, okay? Because again, sometimes this is just a lame finger that doesn't know what to do, okay? But I'm thinking right now. My middle finger is the one that's got a lot more response because of the hybrid technique with the pick, okay? See, you hear the middle finger? Now it's jumping in there. I don't know what I'm playing. I'm just making stuff up. I'm going to try it with the index finger. Okay, that's the index finger. That's the Mark thing right there. He's very good at that. But you figure it out. Go back and forth between the two and see what you can get done with it. Double stops are super important in this style. C to D, I am kind of holding all the other strings muted. The thumb helping mute the top strings, and then I'm kind of using these two fingers to go from a C chord to a D minor. Okay, so double double stops, 2 notes at once, that kind of thing. Let's do that again. Kind of like a Brad Paisley song called Kentucky Jelly. Yeah, there you go. That's for you, Brad. Anyway, so you can do any of that kind of country stuff, and that's why Mark Knopfler is also considered a country guitar player, not just a rock and roll guitar player. But it sounds so cool when you throw in the overdrive and you get the... Maybe the reverb wouldn't be quite so heavy on that. Double notes. Those are all double notes. It's just power chords and minor thirds and things like that, okay? Let me go back to the tone I had. So, back to the clean now with a little swipe down. You could say that's an A minor arpeggiation. Then A. So that's a little D minor, minor third, second, and the root. And then you go into a blues of the A minor. That's a good lick. We'll stay with it. The D minor changing over into the A minor. You can do that over that backing track that we were working with. And then, of course, the C that goes to next. So, if you'll listen to Sultans of Swing, you'll hear things like that. That is a 4-3-2, and then a big raise from the major third up to the fifth. Things like that. So you want to be able to put that in you could double on the last note. All that's over a C right there, okay? Once again, the thumb and these 2 fingers, or could be middle and third as well, are trying to go back and forth in filling notes and to get quick 16ths in there, and then double stops and double notes in there. It has all the elements of that kind of thing, okay? I just finished on the C, so then the last thing would be the G chord. Sounds like Brown Eyed Girl. Right? How about a little country bend there? Some of those. He did quite a few bends from time to time. Okay. Just thinking through all that kind of stuff right there. Okay, so yeah, that last part when you're working through G, you know, I like to run forward and backwards. Double stop harmonies. And then bring it back into the D minor from there. Or I might take it and descend it back down. Come into that, so. It takes some time, but work at it. Have some fun. Start in smaller spaces, obviously, first, and see how you can get that thumb and those fingers working correctly together. And that's going to help you with a lot of other styles and other songs when it comes to fingerstyle and things like that, okay? So have some fun with this backing track. Maybe post yourself and let me see how you sound playing over it. I'd love to hear some of you guys out there in YouTube land playing over some of these things. And shoot me some comments below. Let me know if you learned something, and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for watching.